Good evening, Boat Club. It is Thursday, April the 6th. It's a proud week to be Commodore, coming at you with a full briefing on the Mission Bay planning meeting that occurred 2 nights ago and a complete briefing on the DeAnza Natural project. Normally, I try to keep these videos of 3 minutes or less based on attention span of most people. This is going to be a little bit deeper dive, so buckle up. We got a fair amount of information to cover. I'll try to be comprehensive and brief and as thorough at the same time if possible, if that's even a possibility. So, in order to get to Tuesday, we need to rehash a little bit. So, I'm going to do a little bit of rehash in the event that some people are somewhat unaware of exactly what we're talking about. What you look at here is a map of the northeast corner of Mission Bay Park. And I want to start with just a satellite map. This is a little bit grainy because it's expanded so you can see it, and talk about this. Now, this green item out here, this is uh, Kindle, what is it, Kindle Frost. This is the marsh. So this is a Kindle Frost marsh. This is what they have done until now. And I got a couple of pictures of this. We'll get to that in a second. The proposed expansion goes to the east. So all of this area, this is, for the most part, this is campland. This would become all marsh. Then we go over here, we move campland over to some part, some piece over here, and then marsh literally fills DeAnza Cove here and makes one small little channel and gives access to the boat ramp here. So all this stuff is essentially expanding here, leaving some space for campland. And then also there is intrusion of uplands up here in this section. Interesting to note, and I want to make a point next, this right here, that is not, this is north of where the footbridge is. Mission Bay, North Mission Bay Road is here, and this is the footbridge. Everything north, this is Mission Bay High School, unaffected. North on this side of the creek is affected. Now let's look at graphs, if you will. Now these are just high level land use depictions. There's not anything marked. We're going to do this right here because architects and civil engineers and a whole bunch of people have to get involved between now and then. But let me show you the Kindle Frost here. So that all this green, everything green is marsh. It's basically wetlands. It's bird sanctuary, who even knows? And you can see all of this is marsh. Your boat ramp is over here. And look, it comes up on the eastern side of the creek. And there's something called uplands right here. And then it's infringing a little bit onto the softball fields and the golf course. So now I'm the wrong kind of engineer to understand how and why converting the boat club property into sand dunes and uplands helps clean the water, but that's really another discussion. The point is, and our problem is, there's nothing in any of these graphs that leads to any other assumption other than the boat club will be eliminated. So this plan indeed threatens our future existence. Now, there is one call out in the EIR, maybe two call outs that make some reference that San Diego Mission Bay Boat and Ski Club will move to South Shores. That's another story. I'm going to cover that at the end. Let me make a note here. South Shores at this point is nothing but a red herring, and I'm going to explain to you why that is. So, my goodness, the call to action really did work well. So, we asked for your help. We asked for everybody who could attend to please attend. It worked out beautifully. You can tell by this picture. This was a public showing where everyone who wanted to speak got to speak. I think there were 150 slips filled out, and the boat club was really well represented. I want to say there were 80 or 90 of us. The interesting thing that there really is, although there's a lot of people in this photo, there's really two camps. There's a camp that is recreation, and that turns out the two biggest components. The biggest component was the boat club, and the second biggest component was campland on the bay. Um, the opposition, if you will, which is really weird to say because I'm not opposed to wetlands. I'm not opposed to clean water. I'm not opposed to everything the Autobahn does. I'm just opposed to being eliminated in this plan. So, but the opposition, if you want to call it that, is Autobahn or Rewild, or they have a few different names. And up until Tuesday, is mostly Autobahn. And then you have Campland, who created an advocacy group called Friends of Campland, had become a squeaky wheel some time ago. So they're used to this. But normally they're outgunned. Well, on Tuesday, we turned the tides. So you can see our heavy support here. We were so well represented. If you guys were there, I mean, I was brought to tears on a couple of when we're talking when the kids got up from SDSU, talked about the Concrete Canoe Club and the blind ski component, and the Akunakoa did an amazing job. And then we had a lot of members that have their own agenda or their own issues with this thing, and it was enlightening and inspiring, and it was really just something to be seen. And I'm telling you what, this was our community together for a good cause. And yeah, if this doesn't make you proud, I don't know what will. So we're going to talk a little bit about what comes next and what this means for us. These kids, these 9, 10, 11-year-old kids, there in support of their ball fields were fantastic, extremely powerful. And based on Tuesday night, it has strengthened our strategy or altered it, or we're going to team up. We got 5 legs of this team, this recreation on Mission Bay, and it's going to be a powerful source. Okay, this is what's going to happen next. Now, Jacob, the owner of Campland, says you can look at this chart and multiply it times 10 because there's a lot more. So this is going to be a long haul deal. But next up on this agenda, this April 4 was what we just went through. April 20, I don't think is a call to action. In July, there are these navy blue boxes are an opportunity for formal public comment. So in July is the next event. What I'm told is Autobahn does not like getting embarrassed, and they do not like uh, being outnumbered by any means. So, come July, I'm told that we can expect them to double up. So, we're going to double up. So, we will continue the public press being the squeaky wheel, and so far, it's successful. Oh, there's one more point while I'm thinking about it. So, in the hierarchy of things, the Mission Bay Park Committee doesn't have final say so on this. They take our input and they come up with their own recommendation. They recommend to the San Diego City Council. So that happens later. City Council members are the ones who can ink or vote something yes or no. So the key people in our fight, if you will, is going to be District 1, which basically is everything left of Rose Creek, which is kind of weird, and District 2, which is on our side of the creek. So it's kind of a weird dilemma, I think, in that respect. We have met already with La Cava on District 1. District 2 is in our near future. So that's an important component. The other thing about that, at the end of our meeting, they did express some of their own opinions. I wasn't expecting that. And what I heard is that they heard us and they didn't disagree. And by the way, we really just got started. And since I'm on this, I have to call out and recognize not just everyone who participated. Thank you guys, but our war general, Commodore Niznik, man, he is, I can't tell you how efficient this guy is and how much he's done. So, leading up to this, we've met with council member of District 1. We've met with land use attorneys. We've met with other stakeholders in the area, sometimes 2 meetings a day. And it's impressive. I'm not a lobbyist. Oh, we've met with lobbyists. Um, but I'm learning pretty quickly. And we understand now how to play this game. And the most important thing is we are surrounded by people who are coaching us. And so this is really key. Um, Moving forward, we have hired a land use attorney, or we have a retainer out, and he is working for a boat club budget, and it's a la carte. So we're thrilled about that. Some of these lobbyists, they just to retain them, it's $10,000 a month, and we don't need that. I'm convinced we don't need to spend that kind of money to get this done because we're surrounded with the right people and with a land use attorney. Um, we we got and a good game plan and our community. We're going to get this done. Um, we are There are two short term items. One is submit our letter of comment from the boat club, and that's due very soon. The next is we have a meeting with the Coastal Commission that the attorney is getting us booked in. Okay, so that's where we're headed. Good job, everybody. Pat yourselves on the back. As a team, we worked pretty well. I think we slayed it, and I think most people were there felt have the same impression. Now let's just talk real briefly about South Shores. We had a meeting with the project manager of South Shores, and we started the meeting with a couple of. I had a couple. I usually have basic questions. It's like, do you know who the San Diego Mission Bay Boat and Ski Club is? So come to find out that South Shores project is just now beginning. He described it as 106 acres of landfill. They've written the POs for the first survey. So literally zero has been done. The next step is the GDP. I guess that's the general development plan. If you look at how long it's taken for this thing to get to where it is, one could speculate that South Shores is not going to be ready anytime soon. Uh, I could say I'll be dead and buried. I think that I will be before that thing. But the point is, it's not a viable option for us because they ain't ready. Where are we going to go? That place is not ready for us. It's not going to be ready for us. And the speed at which this project seems to be pushed along by the Autobahn, I'll remind you, um, A comes before B, and A is unacceptable for us. What we've what we think we're seeing is they're going to have a very difficult time taking an 83-year-old legacy recreational club and kick us to the curb. I just don't see that happening. So I think that's the briefing for now. Um, I think we're headed in the right direction. And all of you guys are giving us a lot of feedback. Please don't stop that. All the emails, of course, send them. Make sure Brian is copied on that because he really is the lead on this thing. And I'm following his lead. And because the emails are deep and every day, and it's busy. So we're getting it done. Getting it done. Uh, that's pretty much all for this briefing. Saturday, Whiskey Ridge concert on the lawn. I'll make another video on. We have multiple subjects to cover, but that's what I got today. It's a proud day for the San Diego Mission Bay Boat and Ski Club. Thank you guys. Good job.